So I want to tell you guys a little story about how a boy turns to a man. In the Tony Robbins documentary, I Am Not Your Guru, he says, heal the boy and the man will appear. And I believe that a lot of men aren't healed because they don't know how to release the stress that life has put on them. Everything that's happened in their lives, everything that just felt like it's piled on top of them. A lot of men, because they don't cry. Men don't cry, right? As children, we cry because we're supposed to release this emotion, this stress. This is what relieves you. This is what gets you to hyperventilate and finally calm down. But men, they don't cry. Most men, at least. I'd probably say, I guarantee you about probably 99% of men probably do not cry. At least they try to hold that in. You know, they might have some tears roll down their eyes a little bit, but I'm talking about a deep cry like you will see a child. It's one thing to be strong, but at a certain point, all of that really does build up. And I got to the point where my life felt like everything was crashing in on me at one point. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not even going to say at one point. It feels like that till this day. And I'm like, I got to the point where I didn't even know how to do the work anymore. Like, how do I get myself to do work? Everyone's like, find your why, find your purpose. And that's how you're going to be able to get yourself to do the work. Because it can't just be about you. And it's like, I knew that as a concept. It's like writing it on paper. You see the words. But words are just words. They have absolutely no meaning until you paint a picture in your head on what they really mean. You know, you can teach somebody, you can give them the information to do anything. But until they can see it for themselves to where they truly understand it, to where they end up getting this emotional attachment to it, they will never do the work. There's a reason so many people are still so out of shape or they're not where they want to be in life. It's because they don't have an emotional attachment to that why. That reason they say they want to change, that reason they want to achieve that dream life of theirs. And I used to not be able to understand that because when I was younger, before life completely broke me, I would dream so vividly. I could be with somebody, but I was somewhere else. I wasn't here. You're talking to me? I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about my dream. I'm thinking about my goal. All before all the mistakes, before all the setbacks, before all the failures, I had such a vivid dream that pulled me. There was no resistance. I was going to find a way. Whether that be in the gym or anything else that I wanted to achieve, I was going to find a way. It didn't matter if I didn't have the answer. I was going to find an answer. I was going to make the answer a reality in my life. I would find who knows it. I would look up the information. I would not want to sleep. I would not want to sleep. You don't need sleep when you are so driven by purpose. But what happens when you know what your purpose is, but on a surface level? You know it on a surface level like it's just words on a paper. It's like taking somebody else were to write you, this is your purpose, hand it to you, and be like, feel something. Feel something, but you feel nothing toward it. That's the point I've gotten to even till this day. And I think a lot of it's from secluding myself. And as a man, I never release emotion. I don't cry. And it's a toxic trait. And it's like, I would even tell buddies that I would almost want to cry just so I can release all the tension that had been built up. And it was a weird perspective I was in. I was like in this victim mentality. I just want to cry. I want to break down so I can release this. And, you know, like a lot of men resort to drinking to feel or to escape those feelings. They go to different drugs. You know, I was a dude that used to never drink. I never smoked weed. I never did mushrooms. I never did shrooms. I never did all these other psychedelic drugs. But it got to the point where I wanted to find myself again. And these were escapes that like forced me to feel emotion. I didn't even know I was going to feel that emotion. When I would smoke weed, I'd be like, why do I start crying? Like, I would be laughing at my buddies, and I would tell my buddy, I was like, I don't know why, like, because I would be talking about a story, I'm like, almost breaking down, he's like, you know it's okay to cry, right? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying, though, bro. Like, I don't feel sad. I don't think I'm sad. And I was like, almost like, kind of talking to him, it's like, to you, to the world, for you, it looks like I'm laughing and smiling, but really inside I'm, and then I just broke down. I was like, fuck. He's like, yeah. He felt that. I was like, shit. Like men, they hold shit in, and sometimes these drugs, these alcohol, it allows them to finally let go and feel those feelings that they were holding back and suppressing for so long. It's so deeply rooted within your conscious, your subconscious mind that your conscious is fighting it because you don't want to be weak. As a man, you don't want to be weak. And yesterday, I asked my buddy because I was like, dude, I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm like, I know my purpose, but I want to feel something toward it. And I'm like, dude, how do you do it? Because he works like 50 hours a week, maybe a little bit more, and he's going to school part-time, grinding, goes to the gym still, makes so much time for family and friends, and he's got a booked schedule from early morning to late night, every single day, 7 days a week. I'm like, how do you do it, bro? And like, it got to the point where he's like, dude, I don't know, but when my dad passed away, because we were talking about his dad passing, he's like, when my dad passed away, like, it awoken something in me. Like, something shifted. It's the day you turn from a boy to a man. Sometimes that's when somebody's father passes. And it kind of reawakens you. It makes you realize that you can no longer be this little boy. You have to step up. You don't have that father, that leader figure in your life anymore. Like, you are now the man. You are the leader. And I'm going to be completely honest. We were getting into, like, I have been into psychedelics, and I have been into feeling those emotions, those deep introspective thoughts. And I just had such the deep introspection that gave me the flashback to before everything fell apart. And it made me realize, I'm like, shit. You know what drove me so much? The way I used to speak with authority, wanting to be a leader, wanting to be the leader for the people around me. I wanted to bring everybody else up with me. I wanted to change lives. And I was like, you know what? I've been moving around like a docile sheep. I've been moving around like a fucking sheep when I know I'm a goddamn fucking lion deep within this core essence of my being. I'm a fucking lion. And it's like, when you are not being what you are meant to be, you're just roaming through life. You're always going to find this resistance because you're not being who you are to your core essence. And as a man, when you're just like in your primal state, what you're supposed to be, when you're not worried about what anybody else thinks, when you're driven by purpose, when you're chasing a purpose that's greater than yourself, and you want something so much more out of life than what life and society is telling you need to do, and to fall in line and to not say this, not say that. When you finally speak with authority, you speak with conviction, with absolute certainty that what you say is Bible, it's gospel, in a way that you're trying to influence and inspire others. Not in a way you're trying to manipulate or do anything bad or have selfish acts. You want to make an impact in such a positive way that you want to be a leader. Not in a leader that you're better than anybody, you're above anybody, but a leader that guides and tells somebody that they have a purpose here. That they have a purpose, and that they are just as important to this purpose as you are, as I am, as the leader. They are just as much a part of this and making this shit happen as I am. And I am no better than you. I'm simply guiding you to the man that you are capable of being and the leader that you were always meant to be. And I believe that's what men are supposed to be when it comes to their family. They have to be a leader. They can't be a sheep that just falls in line where they follow the motherfucking leader. Because I ain't no fucking follower. I don't want to be a follower. I want to be a leader. In the least egotistical way possible, in the most influential sense, that I want to actually impact and help others. And then that shifted the fuck out of my mind last night. I'm like, I'm a motherfucking leader. And it felt like I was finally me again. And it was just a crazy breakthrough. It was an absolutely crazy breakthrough because I'm like, I feel alive for the first time in about 10 years. I didn't feel like myself for about 10 years. And it was amazing the psychological mental shift that occurred. I was like, holy fuck, I am in absolute flow state. I'm at my highest frequency possible. I felt borderline like a fucking demigod. I don't want to say God because, I'm trying to be, closer to religion now. I'm trying to practice gratitude. I'm trying to recognize these little things that God's done for me in my life. I can't even say little things, these big things. They're only little, or most of us are blind to it. We'll pray and we'll get it, and then as soon as we get it, we forget that we prayed for it and we got what we asked for, because we refuse to recognize it. We refuse to reflect on the blessings in our lives. And I've been truly trying to reflect on everything that I prayed for, and everything that I ever prayed for always came to me full circle. In a way, it always came to me in a way that I never expected. And sometimes it took years, and it's like, you go through all this shit. You go through all this shit and you're like, where the fuck is the silver lining in this? And you're like, and it never happens the way you expect it. You know, there's a Steve Jobs commencement speech, and it hits the nail on the head with this. You can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back. And then that's when everything makes sense. When everything comes together. When all those failures, all those setbacks, all those things that went wrong in your life, all the things that you thought went wrong actually went right and led you to exactly where you were meant to be, if you actually reflect on it and you're actually trying to improve yourself on a day-to-day basis, and you're living a life where you want to serve a higher purpose greater than yourself. Heal the boy and the man will appear. And sometimes it doesn't take crying. My buddy said when his father passed that he broke down. Of course, right? His father passed. He loved his father. For me, it wasn't the fact that anyone passed away in my life recently that caused this shift last night. It was simply the reawakening of who I'm meant to be. The core essence of a man, as I said, a leader. And as men, we're supposed to be leaders. We're not supposed to be bosses. Any man, I hate to throw out the word alpha because so many people find it cringe, but as an alpha man that wants to be a true man who leads, they don't like bosses. Because a boss is somebody who thinks they're kind of on a hierarchy that's better than you. A boss tells you what to do, but a leader tells you what you need to do because he has your best interest in mind, and because you have a purpose and that he's willing to do the same. He leads by example. Leaders lead by example. Leaders eat last. Leaders eat last. If it comes down to it, he's going to eat last. He won't even eat. He's going to make sure his tribe eats because he's the fucking leader. And that's what it means to be a fucking man. I just wanted to share that with you guys today because I was having some deep introspective thoughts. Because when I lost my purpose, I lost who I was. I told my buddy it was like a match, trying to spark a fire, because I'm like, I just want that fire back. And here I am trying to catch a fire with this match in this box, but the match is wet. And the box has no freaking grooves to it. Yet I'm trying to spark this fire that's never going to start. And I was trying to start it from a broken identity. And forgetting who I was. And letting life break me and feeling like, oh my God, I hope I can be successful. The past couple years, I've been telling my goals to my buddy. I'm like, you know, I got to make this happen. Like, otherwise I'm fucked. Blah, blah, blah. I would be in like a sense of desperation, urgency, like scared, but like still not wanting to do the work because I was so broken. I'm like, why can't I get to do the work? I know I need to get this done. And then I realized, I'm like, fuck, that is nowhere how I used to speak when I was younger. When I was younger, I vividly imagined it so clearly that I would not be denied. I would not be denied. This is what I want. Nothing's going to stop me. The only thing that can stop you from achieving any goal that you want in life is you. You are the bottleneck to everything in your life. And you are fully responsible for it. You know, you can't control everything that happens in your life, but you can control what you do afterwards and how you're going to react to it. And most men have that victim mentality. And I started to have that victim mentality. I was a victim of myself. My own poor choices, my own poor mindset, my decision to focus on the negative. Instead of looking at all the blessings I had in my life and realizing all the potential I had all along. Like, I could have fixed everything in my life and been exactly where I wanted to be right now. But God put me on a path where I had to be so broken and humbled. Physically, mentally, financially, every aspect. So that I can understand everybody. Because before I was egotistical. In the gym. Financially. And just, I would look at people who like couldn't get themselves to do shit. I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Till I realized what it meant to really be broken and be in that mindset so I can understand everybody. And I feel like that's a blessing. And now I'm here to help others heal from their pain, physically, psychologically, and help them take the power back in their life. I want to empower people to take their life back and show them that it's possible. Because I've been in your shoes. And I love the quote that unless you've climbed the mountain I'm trying to climb, I'm not trying to go with you. And I want to climb that fucking mountain. I want to lead by example, and I want to show people that there is a way. That's just what I wanted to say today. Kind of a spontaneous video, but I wanted to address now as a mission statement that I am a leader and I want to lead and I want to help people. That's what this channel is about. I've been posting bullshit. That I know I'm so much more capable. I've just got to set it in my mind. I've got to get organized. I told my buddy I'm the most unorganized motherfucker there is out there. I'm somebody with drive, but it's got to be so directed and laser-like to a specific goal. I can't be broad. I can't be like, oh, I want to help people. I got to know exactly what I got to do to help people. So if you're unorganized, you got to find a way to get organized. Find the most organized motherfucker in your life and get them to help you. Not because you're weak and that you're helpless, but because we all need help sometimes. You know, you have to show them that you truly want to change and you want something more out of this life than the way you've been living. And that's what I want. I've got amazing people in my life. And a lot of us think we can do this alone. We can go through this journey alone. We can lone wolf this shit. We can do this, whatever big goal on our own. But the truth is we need everybody. We need others in our life. We are social creatures. You know, if you want to go fast, I forget the exact quote. What is it? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you got to be with others. You got to go as a group. You know? We are weak alone. But in packs we're strong. You know, psychologically, physically. I just want to leave you guys with that. I want to give more mindset drops on how to be a man and be a leader, but I've got to lead by example. As I said, I got to practice what I preach, and I got to show up every day, not just for myself, but for you guys. I will see you guys in the next video.